Naenda live na inaniambia imeisha. Alright guys, welcome to our second live stream, and thank you so much for tuning in all the time. We appreciate your presence. So I don't know where to start. There are so many matters that you wonder where to start, and maybe we should start from Kenyan aspect as we go into Tanzania, or whichever way. Let's hope for whichever way we take, we appreciate your presence. And maybe we can begin with this aspect of Tanzania. All right, so guys, I think there are a lot of lies Tanzania has been selling on the streets, and I hope that sooner or later people will begin to understand deeply. I saw something about the son of Suluhu. I don't want to get into that because it was a very touchy aspect. The son Abdul Halim Amir. I don't want to go into this because of the deeper information that would actually attract a lot of attention. And I don't know what to say about that. But if that is true, then I need to... The aspect of SIM too, guys, are very, very matters that really trigger a lot of controversy. And I saw Ikonini discuss this, and I didn't want to go into this. Maybe I'll have to relax first before I can talk about it. You need a heart to talk about it, or some sort of strength. So, of course, in matters Tanzania seems to have a lot of lies, when in reality, what is happening on the ground is quite different. You know, you can imagine that Tanzanians are easily being executed for matters of what we call treason. Treason is a serious charge. In Kenya, before you are executed for treason, and I think even recently, Babu actually got a lot of popularity because of trying to defend people who had been charged with the aspects like terrorism and all that. So I don't know what to say. But when you look at matters Tanzania, it's quite surprising to see what is happening. So let me just look at some aspects here, and I welcome you to the channel. Be welcome here. And of course, we can start with funny clips, but let's spare that first and focus on matters Tanzania here. Now, I was watching Herman Manyora recently, and he said that Tanzania has a long way to go. And he's not the only one who has said. Of course, a lot of people feel like Tanzania is still, like if it's a child stage of progress, there's still a child who is still crawling, struggling to crawl. And they have been met with situations of the Gen Zs running. And therefore, that is why Samia did not trust that whatever happened was a genuine case of situations surrounding Tanzania. Maybe she was deep in a shock, you know. And so today we have had a privilege to listen to a Tanzanian who is trying to prove that a lot of problems are still in Tanzania, that while they lie about peace and regaining the normal situations, that is not true. And I want us just to listen to this guy. I'll be explaining in English for those of you who don't understand English. But if you understand Kiswahili, you will just hear what he said and understand what he says. So thank you so much for coming to the channel. I appreciate, even if you watch later, I still appreciate. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let us move ahead in political discussion. So let's check on this.
Wito wa namna hiyo ni matusi kwa Watanzania.
Some 2 minutes, listen
to him. Ni jambo la aibu kusikia wito wa namna hiyo. Ni matusi kwa Watanzania, lakini pia ni kuvunjiana heshima kwa sababu kwa sababu gani, kutokea wapi? Tunazungumzia taifa ambalo sasa hivi lina huzuni, lina misiba, lina vilio, kuna majonzi, watu wana uchungu, watu wameuawa kama kuku.
Yeah, so this guy actually came on the platform on live to talk about Tanzania, and he was saying that as far as many Tanzanians have been keeping quiet, the reality is that Tanzania is not a peaceful place. He indicated that as far as Samia is asking for dialogue, he wonders which dialogue Samia wants, because she has done a lot of ills than good. He indicated that there are a lot of people who have died, who have perished. And of course, it was surprising when Samia came to say that most are foreigners. But again, when you go back to the Tanzanians themselves, even Heche came out and indicated that whatever has happened is in Tanzania, not and Tanzanians have lost their life. So these are lies that we have been always fed with. Suluhu speaking just openly and making people believe that those who died in Tanzania were foreigners. That was a lie. So we have seen a Tanzania here expressing that Tanzanians have suffered, they have died, some of them are in hospitals, and there is much that I'm coming to bring, because the reality is that anyone who was hurt is being collected and executed, then dumped somewhere. So it's unfortunate that even as we think that things have come back to normal, that is not the reality. Let's continue to listen to this guy from Tanzania, and I'll be talking about it.
Tunazungumzia serikali ambayo ni batili, haijakiri kwamba tuna shida, haja acknowledge kwamba kuna crisis, kwamba we have a problem, haja acknowledge kwamba watu wameuawa kinyama katika ardhi yao kwa sababu ya kutaka haki katika uchaguzi. Hawajakiri kwamba ni watu wangapi wameuawa, ni watu wangapi wamepigwa risasi wakauawa, ni watu wangapi wako vituo vya polisi, ni watu wangapi wamepotezwa, ni watu wangapi wamelazimika kukimbia nchi, ni familia ngapi hazioni miili ya ndugu zao.
Yeah, so this guy came out saying that even currently there are families who do not know where their beloved ones went. Even after death, no one knows where their families are. We have also those who have been forced to run out of Tanzania, even if they are Tanzanian. There's also disruption of business, and so much has happened, but the government is not acknowledging, actually saying there is a problem. All they are saying is that leadership continues, and of course I saw parliamentary sittings which were very funny. I saw them and I found those very absurd. Anyway, let's continue listening again.
Ni familia ngapi watoto wao wamepelekwa jela kwa sababu ya mashtaka ya kijinga ya uhaini? Watoto wadogo wa miaka 20, 22, 23 wanapelekwa jela kwa makosa ya uhaini. Kosa kubwa kabisa katika sheria zetu za Tanzania, ambalo adhabu yake ni kunyongwa hadi kufa. Kuja unazungumza maridhiano katika nini? Kuridhiane.
Yeah, so the guy was saying that there is no way you can talk about dialogue when already there are so many Tanzanians who have been prosecuted in terms of treason. According to him, treason is a very serious offense in Tanzania, and it leads to, capital sentence, and sometimes even killing. Someone should be actually killed, we call it death punishment. So he is wondering whether how Suluhu wants a dialogue when at the same time she has conducted what she has done. Yeah.
Kwa sisi tunahuzunika, sisi tuna misiba, tumefiwa. Tunakuwa targeted kwa ajili ya kuuawa, tumekuwa enrolled kuwa candidates wa kunyongwa hadi kufa. Tunaishi kama digidigi katika nchi yetu. Hali ya usalama haijarejea hata kidogo. Na tunapozungumza asubuhi hii bado hali ni tense. Tuko kama tuko vitani. Ukitoka nje ya nyumba unakutana na askari, unakutana na watu wamevaa nguo za ajabu ajabu. You don't recognize them. Wana silaha. Hatuwezi
Yeah, so he still says that even though Suluhu says the country is peaceful, there are still so many people. When you come out of your house, there is tight security. People are dressed in a funny way, and you don't even understand who they are. So he doesn't really trust the system currently, and maybe he's just one voice representing the rest. I don't know why he's exposing his face. He's not afraid. Like we saw the other case of yesterday, a guy who had masked his face and covered it because he knows the consequence of speaking online.
Size movement kama kawaida yetu hatuwezi hata kujieleza mitandaoni, halafu unazungumzia maridhiano. Kwa hiyo anapoambia maridhiano, mumuulize anaridhiana na nani na kwa sababu gani. Hatuhitaji kuchezewa na kufanywa michezo ya kisiasa ambayo wamekuwa wanaifanya miaka yote. Wanaiba uchaguzi, wakimaliza uchaguzi wanasema tufanye maridhiano. Akaridhiane na Watanzania ambao wanavuja damu. Akaridhiane na watu ambao wana uchungu na hawajapata faraja yoyote.
Naam. We must understand. Okay, so that is exactly what this guy was trying to express, and showing us that there are a lot of lies about Tanzania. The reality is that the Tanzania that we are being shown, maybe by most of their platforms, or maybe when Suluhu speaks, or when they are in parliament, is not the whatever is happening, okay? There is another video that has come out to show us what is happening in Tanzania hospitals, and I just want to bring it before I can go to Kenyan aspects. Look at that. Look at that.
At Tanzania's largest hospital, Muhimbili National Hospital, wounded protesters are arriving with gunshot wounds, but not all of them are living alive. Activist Maria Sarungi Sehai says police are stationed at hospital entrances, identifying and removing patients believed to be part of recent protest. According to multiple eyewitnesses, once those patients are taken away, they are never seen again. Their names vanish from hospital list, and their families are told nothing. It is a new, terrifying pattern. Hospitals, once a place of healing, has allegedly become signs of disappearance.
So according to another information from Muhimbili Hospital, it's indicated that if you go to hospital and you're found you have maybe a wound, let's say a wound from, let's say a gunshot or something like that, they are clearly picking this patient and taking them away. And you will never get to have any information as the family. And even when you go to the morgue, you will not find the loved one, and the family will not be told anything. Information is deleted from records. So these are atrocities that I wonder we are being hidden from understanding this, and a lot of lies are being given over about Tanzania. Yeah, so we've seen that. Let's proceed to check on more.
But the pattern is consistent. Patients arrived under emergency care, stabilize, and then vanish. Eyewitnesses describe plainclothes officers entering wards at night, pointing out specific patients, then escorting them out. Within hours, their hospital's beds are cleared, files removed, and their families denied updates. Some relatives have later received phone calls or photographs confirming their loved one's body had been dumped far from the city. Opposition groups say hundreds, possibly thousands, have disappeared in this way.
We first of all must give voice to victims. We must allow them to say what has happened to them. And what they are saying has happened to them is that they've been shot, they've been injured, they've been killed, they've been violated. From even just the footage that we've watched here, you can see that the sites where many of them were injured looks to me, for those of you who are less familiar with Tanzania, they look like very domestic situations. They look like these were attacks that were being perpetrated in people's homes.
Multiple sources describe unmarked white ambulances or municipal burial services, vehicles arriving after dark. Morgue workers say bodies are loaded quietly and driven to unknown destinations. One source claimed 1,700 names appear on internal missing lists from Muhimbili alone, though that number remains unverified. If even partially true, it would suggest an orchestrated effort to erase evidence of killings. Hiyo isituzuie sisi kupaza sauti zetu, tutapaza sauti zetu tu. Muhimu sauti zetu zifike. Major outlets BBC, RUTO'S, AL-JAZEERA confirm hospitals are overwhelmed, morgues overflowing, and that bodies are being collected by unknown parties. Diplomatic sources privately admit that hundreds may have been killed nationwide, with fears of a systematic cleanup operation to hide them.
So in Tanzania, of course, there is that systematic cleanup that was mentioned by the opposition since the time that we had these demonstrations. And I don't know why the European nation or even Trump or anybody has not been able to intervene early, but it's unfortunate state of affairs. There's another video that also showed something on Tanzania. I'm trying to get it here.
Today we're talking about thumbnails because let's face it, if you're serious about growing a YouTube channel, you need to learn how to make thumbnails.
Alright, so let's check on this. Yeah, and we have different countries having different feelings about Tanzania. And of course, there are those who are very general in sharing views. One of them, of course, was the president of Kenya. You heard him on Al Jazeera in an interview on, was it Sunday or Monday? He indicated clearly that Tanzania has not even started its democracy journey. And we had another interview involving Herman Manyora. Herman Manyora was giving a very deadly information to Tanzania, indicating that Suluhu might not go through 5 years. I don't know whether this is true. Let's check on that before we go to a very funny clip with the Kenyans now coming out to mock Samia on the song Nywi Nywi Nywi. So let's observe this.
Samia Suluhu Hassan. And I said what happened was not an election. There are so many bad things that happened. It's not the way it should be. And we feel very sad, especially given the death we are hearing, the numbers of the people who died, and it's worrying, and all the bad things that happened. So there was no election, but it is possible to pick up the pieces and move on. I know it's difficult, but in the interest of the nation of Tanzania, it is possible to not necessarily move on the way people say in this country now, to pick up the pieces. And the beginning point would be, going forward to answer your question, embark on a process of national healing and reconciliation by accepting that things went wrong. And one tangible step to take would be to give the people of Tanzania a new constitution. People were shocked to hear that those elections could not be contested anywhere in court. So those kind of issues have to be addressed. Of course, like I've said, the opposition, those in jail must be removed. Prisoners of conscience, the boys and girls who have filled the jails must be removed, released immediately.
So when you look at other countries, the suggestions that are very mature, I don't know whether Tanzania is actually considering such suggestions as ensuring that they release all those who have been arrested, ensuring that they offer, decorum in the nation. They really change the constitution or amend the constitution to cover up some things, because like in any other nation, if elections have had a problem, there is need to challenge. And Tanzania has not even accepted that those elections were actually folly. The government itself has not admitted. I saw today in Parliament of Tanzania how the MPs were introducing themselves. And I found it funny that there was a party that I was not even aware, and we had several MPs elected under that, which automatically tells us that those people never voted for Samia, possibly. Anyway, we saw another video from Heche. Heche was sharing something, but before that, we had also another opinion. Maybe I should start with Heche and what he said before I can come to what I want to share here. Where is this? It's not this. I'm looking for the video from Heche. Yeah, Heche is here and this is what he had to say.
Busu ya polisi tangu tarehe 22 kwa siku 21 mfululizo, si kama tulivyotakiwa jana. Baada ya kuachiwa, tumeambiwa turudi Alhamisi saa 4 asubuhi. Kwa tutarudi Alhamisi saa 4 asubuhi. Kuna mambo kadhaa ambayo nataka kusema kwa niaba ya chama chetu. Mimi nimekuwa mahabusu ya polisi tangu tarehe 22 kwa siku 21 mfululizo. Kwa hiyo sikuwa najua kwa undani kilichojitokeza. Jana usiku nimepata nafasi ya kuona mambo mabaya sana yaliyojitokeza. Vijana wengi wameumizwa, wameuawa. Familia nyingi zimepoteza ndugu zao. Mali zimeharibika. Kwa niaba ya chama chetu nataka kutoa pole kubwa sana kwa Watanzania wote waliopoteza ndugu zao, waliopoteza mali, hasa waliopoteza ndugu zao. Tuliwaambia mapema kwamba kuna sababu ya kurudisha taifa pamoja. Hawakufanya hivi. Wamefikisha taifa letu kwenye hali mbaya na ngumu. Kwa hiyo kwa niaba ya chama chetu tunatoa pole. Na pili, kama tulivyokamatwa ndivyo tulivyoachiwa. Hakuna mazungumzo yoyote tuliyofanya na mtu yoyote. Nataka hili liwe very clear kwenye public, kwa sababu watu wasilete propaganda kwamba tumeachiwa kwa makubaliano fulani. Hatuna makubaliano tuliyoachiwa nayo. Bado sisi ni watu tunaamini ni innocent, na tunataka watu wengine wote wanaoshikiliwa kinyume cha utaratibu waachiwe, waende kwenye familia zao. Tunataka
So actually, Heche was released, and after release, that is what he had to share. He indicated that he was arrested since 22nd, and therefore all the time when we had post-election continuing, he was not out there. Now, I wonder why he had been actually charged with treason and inciting. I don't know whether they based on April or what exactly they based on. I'm not so sure. So he also came out to say that he's so sorry for the families of those who lost their beloved ones, and he was urging Tanzanians to remain calm as they hope for the best. He also said that he had warned Tanzanians about this earlier, but because the government never paid attention and did anything to actually solve the situation, that is why it came out as it was. Let's continue to listen to what more happened, and we will get to NIFA situation, the influenza too.
Walioachiwa, waliokamatwa, wanaobambikiwa kesi iachwe mara moja. Jambo la tatu, nchi hii ilipata uhuru mwaka 61. Hatutakubali kuwa koloni la mtu tena. Hilo jambo haliwezekani kwenye nchi hii. Hii ni nchi yetu sote, lazima tuheshimiane, ni nchi ya kidemokrasia na lazima watu wasikilize. Jambo la 4, chama chetu kwa haraka sana, naagiza vikao vya secretariat vipitie kwa undani na tuitishe kamati kuu, na kamati kuu ya chama chetu itatoa mwelekeo wa nini chama chetu kinazungumza na ni hatua gani tutachukua kwa kwenda mbele.
So Heche continued to indicate that the secretariat group was supposed to meet very fast, and therefore they decide on what to do. He also said that he would wish, or rather he was ordering the release of the many Tanzanians who have been put to prison, including people like the influencer NIFA, on charges of treason which are not truthful. Yeah. So he continued to say a lot of things, among them the democracy that is supposed to be adhered to in Tanzania.
Lakini kwa wale ambao ndugu zao wameumia, ndugu zao wamepoteza na taarifa hazipo, waendelee kuwasiliana na mamlaka za chama. Naibu katibu mkuu atatoa utaratibu ya namna ya kufikisha hizo message. Iruhusu watu wachukue ndugu zao, wapate familia ya ndugu zao, wawazike kiafrika kama tunavyojua kitamaduni.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that even as the government continues to deny that people have not died, Heche has come out and has said that there are so many people who have died, and most of them, their families are not able to find the bodies, and therefore he urges the government to do what is necessary so that these families get the bodies. Hata peleka hii charger, wataingisha baadaye, alafu waambia watoto wasonge kidogo hivi na wakinatia watoke nje. Peleka ukinicha. But waambia watoto waache kelele. Yeah, so of course Tanzania has had the worst moment possible. And of course we have seen that they are demanding that there is supposed to be order. When you look at the current media's VOT, Wasafi video, media and all that, there's a lot of stuff there.
Tuna idadi ya wabunge 8 katika bunge hili, wabunge 4 kutoka Zanzibar na wabunge 4 kutoka bara. Tuna ufahamu kwamba idadi hiyo ikijumlishwa na wabunge 3 wa chama cha Chauma na kufanya idadi ya wabunge wa kambi ya walio wachache kuwa 11 ni idadi ya chini zaidi katika historia ya mabunge ya mavingi tangu mfumo huo urejeshwe tena mwaka 1995. Kwa hilo tunalifahamu. Kwa hiyo tunaingia na kushiriki katika bunge hili tukijua hali hiyo. Tukijua ni hali ambayo itakuwa na changamoto kubwa, idadi yetu ni ndogo sana. Kwa hiyo hatujaingia katika bunge kutegemea ushindani wa idadi. Tunaingia katika bunge kwa kutegemea ushindani wa hoja. Na tunaamini tukijipanga vizuri.
So funny. Actually, automatically, when you look at the government itself in Tanzania, it has more positions than any other party. So automatically, even if they are arguing that they are going to have to argue on ideologies, it's not possible for many parties to have a way too far through those discussions. And I'm really finding that dialogue that Mama Samia is asking for is not going actually to add up to much. Yeah, so away from that, we have to talk about current aspects in the what we are seeing, the much of the discussions in Malava, or by-elections in general. So by-elections have become one of the tools that the government of Kenya is using to create a room. But before that, let's look at the dances that Kenyans have mocked Samia with. So the Kenyans have decided to go for that Nyui challenge even after Nifa was arrested. So I don't know how Mama Samia will deal with the Kenyans here. Kenyans are so funny people. Anyway, so let's break the monotony from political discussions to some drama here, and we come back to Kenyan politics.
Naomba watu tokeni, amshaneni, kapigeni kura. Ni watoe hofu kwamba hakutakuwa na nywinywi wala nywinywi. Nywinywi wala nywinywi. Hakutakuwa na nywinywi.
Yaani naona sweta na uko nje kwa baridi. Hivi ndio huwa nasema kiboko kinatakana.
Now you want to challenge me.
Aniwachie mimi. Aniwachie.
Well, weka.
Anabel. Kwa nini?
Wala nywinywi. Hakutakuwa na nywinywi wala nywinywi. Rais Samia. Nywinywi wala nywinywi. Rais Samia. Samia ni watoe hofu kwamba hakutakuwa na nywinywi wala nywinywi. Kwa wingi kapigeni. Vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama vimejipanga vyema kuilinda nchi hii, na mimi ndio amiri jeshi mkuu nayesema hapa. Tumejipanga vyema kuilinda nchi hii, kwa hiyo hakutakuwa na nywinywi wala nywinywinywi. Naomba watu tokee nywinywi wala nywinywi.
Lukana nyinyi mtuambie nini mnataka tukuje huko Dodoma tusababishe?
Hakutakuwa na nywinywi wala nywinywi. Nywinywi wala nywinywi. Hakutakuwa na nywinywi wala nywinywi.
All right, guys. So that is the politics of Tanzania and the funny clips that we've seen on the street. So anyway, let's pull ahead and talk about something right here. After the drama, we come back to more politics here. Na tutapata mboga. Our video is very long. We're just in 31 minutes. And I want you to hear the fact that Kenyans went to Tanzania. Some of them were into hotel industry, others teachers, others traders, and they were really molested. Of course, we saw one interview with Boniface recounting a lot of trouble on some of the Kenyans and what they went through.
I had all my papers sorted. I knew that and the visa was expiring January next year, end of January next year. So everything was clear. During that time, I ended up going to the office multiple times, of course, without the fear. Of course, again, we didn't expect that there would be a rowdy election, as Tanzania has generally been quiet. About an hour later, so they keep my passport for an hour. During this time, they also took my phone but handed it back the same. And that was the beginning of 8 days in that cell. During this period, they have taken our passports, they've taken our clothes, of course the suitcases, and they've taken our phones. So we're in communication. Had the bullets inside the bodies, which it was devastating to see. In addition to that, we also noticed that it wasn't an attack on Kenyans, right? It was almost every nationality that borders.
All right, so
we had many Malawians.
Of course, we saw that Tanzania was lying that they were attacking those who demonstrated, but clearly the guy who was in Tanzania and was actually attacked on the streets says that it was a situation where they were really going for any nationality from different nations. Now, coming to Kenya, I think we are through with Tanzania. Coming to Kenya, we have seen the politics of Kenya, and I want to get to some things right here. Of course, the fact that we had this Waluke, if you know Waluke from Bungoma, he was arrested and over a saga of some kind of maize or something. And he was, charged 67 years, right? And it was an evening when all of us heard that. Unfortunately or fortunately, there has been a fight through. During the time Waluke was charged, he was in ODM. Later on, when he was kind of free, he came to, he joined Kenya Kwanza or whatever, and somehow he was acquitted. And recently, he was let free. And now, even though he had made 300 million from that company where he had been prosecuted for, he has demanded that the company should pay him 1 billion Kenyan shillings for whatever happened. I don't know. These are silent shadows that happened on the streets. Everyone is not equal in the eyes of the law. When we look in Kenya, and there is insatiable greed when you look at what Waluke is trying to do, because he has been in the picture. We've seen a lot of things surrounding him, and it's unfortunate with what we are seeing right here. And when I was looking into that, I was surprised at what is going on. Meanwhile, we have seen FAROUK camping at Malava. And let's see what he says right here. Hapa angalia kama pesa, leta ile mfuko ya huko ndani tuone pesa iko ndani inafika. Kama inafika 200 uendee mboga, nyanya na vitunguu.
Na tena unamfuta. Nauliza nyanga. Mimi niko mbele yako. Ukiwa na kitambulisho.
Majirani nitasimama na nyinyi. Na hao vijana aliwaambia bodaboda wamenipata, wamesema hii shule hii ya secondary school. Na nimesema Lwandet Secondary School kwa ile mbio ya Chepsaita tuwapatie 1,000,000 ndio watoto wasome. Na nimesema hivi, wale watoto ya wachane wawe kwanza number 1. Number 2 wawe watu ya boda boda. Kwa sababu hawezi kuwa wanaendesha boda. Mnajua kuendesha boda boda ni kibarua. Dakwa kwamba atufanye msana maneno iende mpaka pale kwa Kamasai na ingine iende hapa, hii daraja iko hapa. Hiyo greda haiwezi kuongojea ati mpaka Ndakwa achaguliwe. Si nyinyi maisha inaendelea? Inaendelea, iendelee.
Okay, so that was FAROUK at Malava, and of course they have been camping in Malava, ensuring that they they are on the spotlight about the politics in by-election. It's not only about this politics of that place, you know.
If Malava falls, so does FAROUK Kibet. That's not just gossip. It is the quiet fear inside UDA. FAROUK Kibet, President RUTO'S most trusted operator, has turned a simple...
So why do you think FAROUK has camped in Malava? We were told that actually the president has had a lot of financial impact currently in Malava because that is one of the seats that will determine 2027. How true is this? Drop a comment in the comment section based on what you think. But they are camping there left and right. Let's see this.
Malala mocked him brutally, saying some cows standing with FAROUK refused to enter the deep. A jab that instantly went viral.
FAROUK Kibet amekuja hapa Kurasani. Ati akaenda kupaka rangi ile cattle dip pale. Na akapiga picha, ameenda pale, amesimama na viongozi wa Luya ati wana launch cattle dip kwa sababu ya FAROUK amepaka rangi, ameandika hapa.
Panyako, flying the DAPK flag, now commands an alliance of political heavyweights. George Natembeya with his star-way uppercut, Boni Halwale with his flaming swords, Cleophas Malala with his knockouts, and Eugene Wamalwa with his seasoned precision. Together they have branded FAROUK as a rejected foreigner trying to impose us. News broke, endorsing UDA's candidate David.
Ambusini Panyako.
The political temperatures in Malava, guys, you can see a lot of shenanigans. Meanwhile, at Nakuru County, we have seen Kalonzo Musyoka, we've seen Gachagua and all that. Now we want to get into partly that kind of dialogue and see what happened. We are into 40 minutes. We may be going for 20 more minutes. So check on this.
Mama Nyambura na familia nzima ya JM Kariuki Shiku and this Josiah man, Josiah Jr. found it difficult to speak, but we found him in Kilimani. This guy has strong ambition. And Rosemary, hold this young man. My brother Rigiji na my brother Eugene. Sitakuwa na mambo mengi kwa sababu I think it's unfair kwamba the closest friends wa Mama Terry hawakuongea na sisi ati kwa sababu we are national leaders, we take all the time. The late JM Kariuki stood for justice. Huyu mama was a third wife of not just an ordinary politician, but a movement. A movement. And this is why miaka 50 baadaye tumekuja kumwenzi, lakini kwa njia difficult. Kwa sababu tungekuwa hapa, Rosemary, had you reminded me, but I should have reminded you, 2nd of March was 50 years tangu JM rested. Since JM was assassinated, murdered, assassinated, 50 years baadaye, his third widow, Mama Terry, ameenda kulala kabla kujua ni kina nani walimuua JM. Na ndio hili Ndegwa Njiru akasema kwamba kuna mambo historical injustice in this country. Neniswa JM, yule mama ile. Asante, thank you. You told us specifically tukitoka hapa, because some of us have never been here, it is true. Lakini tunatoka hapa na nguvu ya kutetea nchi hii, kuirekebisha, kutoa kwa minyororo ya ufisadi, wafisadi na wauaji ambao wanajulikana. So that is our pledge out of here. I was a second year at the university, second year student at the University of Nairobi in 1975.
All right, so that was Kalonzo Musyoka actually giving a lot of historical information. I don't know why he's turning in to be more of the Baba now of late. He's giving a lot of historical information every time he goes to these meetings. And Gachagua also had to speak. I'm trying to check on a video that doesn't have aspect to do with whatever. Let's check at Gachagua. What did he say?
Thank you, Reverend Fathers and the clergy. Yuki is an inspiration to many people. And I want to confirm to the people of Kenya that my leadership today is inspired by J.M. Kariuki, fighting for the weak, the poor, the downtrodden, fearlessly, without fearing, bila kuuziwa woga. Huyu J.M. Kariuki alitetea wanyonge, alisaidia watu wengi sana kupata mashamba, akakuwa wa kusimama na haki ya Wakenya. And that is why he was assassinated on 2nd of March 1975. 50 years down the line, what J.M. Kariuki was fighting is what we are fighting today. Huyu alitishwa, huyu J.M. Kariuki bana ya huyu mama alikuwa nakatazwa kwenda kufanya kampeni. Wa leo huyu Kasongo anakataza sisi kusungua Kenya. Same thing is happening. Lakini sisi kama JM hatuwezi nunua uoga hata kama tuko na pesa ya kununua. Ndio. Na tunataka kusema ya kwamba we must fight for the liberation of our country and the economic empowerment of our people. Na hiyo tutaendelea.
All right, so I won't go into more details, but of course, when you look currently online, you'll find some videos that are telling you how they were sent away and all that. But the reality is that even when you check in Parliament, again, there are exchanges here, and I want you to listen to this. The exchanges that are going on are very funny. We have about 15 minutes to go.
One big buyer weight.
Honorable Speaker, I had the second of this motion, the Honorable Senator for Nandi, Samson Cherargei Kiprotich, speaking about the death of Albert Ojwang in the cells at Central Police Station, as if he was not aware that when that happened, in fact, in that specific police station, there were CCTV cameras installed in that particular station. But what we have been told by IPOA is that somebody was bold enough to disable or to mess with the footage that would have captured the moment at which we lost our brother, Albert Ojwang. Yes. And Mr. Speaker, this is the reason why context of the behavior of police officers, the context of the behavior of public officers is extremely critical. We, as Kenyans, when we passed this constitution, Honorable Speaker, we were in a certain frame of mind. Mr. Speaker, if you want to know the frame of mind that Kenyans were in, you have to go to the preamble of the constitution. And Honorable Speaker, because I like to teach, you explain what the context of the constitution is when we were passing it. If you look at the preamble, Honorable Speaker, Kenyan people committed to nurturing and protecting the well-being of the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. Those of us who went to proper law schools know that when names or words are used in a certain order, it is not a fluke. There is a reason why it starts with the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. Honorable Speaker, we have and go through. I hear people calling themselves Kalenjin warriors on the floor of this house. Some of the things that we heard from Boniface Mwangi, I would want to know why a Kalenjin warrior would wish any of that punishment and mistreatment on any human being, Kalenjin warrior or not. Chika, it disgusts us. And one of the things that is the most disgusting for me as Senator Sifuna and SG of ODM is that some of these characters have been running around wearing ODM colors, calling themselves founder members of ODM. Mr. Speaker, they say birds of a feather flock together. Those are not our colors. Those are not our people. Those are not our values. The ODM party, Honorable Speaker, is a party that is known for justice. We are the manufacturers. We are the birthers of this constitution. There is no way, Honorable Speaker, we will associate with characters who run around saying people should be subjected to inhuman and degrading treatment.
Senator Sifuna,
So,
there's a
Honorable
point
Speaker,
of order. There's a point of order. What's your point?
Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding on the 101.1. I've heard Senator Sifuna mention a number of names, and
So of course Cherargei had to stand and defend himself, but if it were me, I would keep quiet, because generally what he said was farting. We can say he just had to, the other day when he was talking about the fact that the activist wanafaa wafinywe. That was a very wrong statement, and I think Sifuna has just had to go for the bull by the horns. Anyway, while at Nakuru, of course, you understand Gachagua was actually attacked, and according to some information, they are saying that the goons who attacked were hired by Susan Kihika. I don't know. There has been a consistent conflict between Gachagua and Kihika. You remember there is a time she really had to talk a lot. Look at this.
Gavana Kihika ni one term, si one term. Wagabu wanasema Kihika aende, Kihika aende, Kihika aende, Kihika. Harambee! Harambee! Weka hii mabango chini. Keuneko kia magito.
So Gachagua is getting now the toughest moment, because now politicians have decided wherever he goes, they will have to hire people to attack. And therefore Gachagua and Kalonzo had a rough time in Nakuru after a moment that they thought was a soft landing. We have about 12 minutes to go, but there is something I wanted to share again here.
Leo huyu Kasongo anakataza sisi kusungua Kenya. Same thing is happening. Lakini sisi kama JM hatuwezi nunua uoga hata kama tuko na pesa ya kununua. Si ndio? Na tunataka kusema ya kwamba we must fight for the liberation of our country and the economic empowerment of our people. Na hiyo tutaendelea. Na hatuwezi tishwa. Nimeona huyu Kasongo jana akilia, akisema ya kwamba ati kuna wanaume 5 wanakutana ati kugawa serikali. Huyu Kasongo hana habari, amechanganyikiwa. Unajua tangu walienda pale Kisumu, pale Bondo kulia machozi ya uongo, akisema atanalia mambo ya Raila. Kalonzo wakaenda pale, Mama Aida na wote familia wakasema wanatabua Kalonzo. Huyu Kasoko amechanganyikiwa. Sasa wewe bwana Kidinji, karibu aletwa atea ateu wewe bwana.
Na yeye ameenda nyumbani, na kubali ameenda nyumbani na hatuna vita naye. Saa hii Kingpin, na ninataka kukushukuru nyinyi Kalonzo Musyoka na wale wengine kwa sababu mmejua funguo ya Central. Kama ukuji kwa mlango ya ligi juu, wewe iko katika siasa, hauko kwa siasa ya Central. Na ninaelewa na nimekuona Bwana Stephen Kalonzo, tumefanya na wewe nikiwa kwa Kibaki, ukiwa makamu wa rais, na ulitusaidia sana.
All right, so these people continue to actually support the hand of Kalonzo Musyoka. I don't know how things will turn up. This is, of course, Maina Kamanda, who is now slamming Uhuru, declaring Gachagua the kingpin of Mount during Terry Kariuki's burial. Of course, J.M. Kariuki was one of the historical elements. Some of us do not understand the deeper aspects about him. But during this funeral, we had to understand some of that from the politicians who stood up to speak. All right? And there was a wide environment within that funeral as the politicians took to the platforms. So currently, if you look at the temperatures, and even though we are seeing Gerald Gay trying as much as possible to really defend himself, he's being considered one who is appointed to harvest the souls of Kenyans. I don't know how he'll defend himself more from this. Let's just listen to his defense and see what he says.
Oncologists, doctors that can attend cancer patients, Mr. Speaker. You go to Nyamira, we don't have an oncologist, Mr. Speaker. You're talking about equipment, diagnostic, Mr. Speaker. In my county of Nyamira, we don't have an MRI machines to attend to cancer patients, Mr. Speaker. As I speak, Mr. Speaker, this afternoon, I'm mourning an uncle of mine who has passed on due to cancer. Mr. Speaker, let's be serious. Let's be serious, Senator. Let's be serious. Most of us, Mr. Speaker, when we get sick, we go and flush our medical cards in hospital because we have all those benefits. But the poor of the poorest in this country, Mr. Speaker, don't get any assistance from this thing you call SHA, Mr. Speaker. So let's call a spade, Mr. Speaker. Because we are living comfortable lives, because we have this good medical cover, Mr. Speaker, that should not.
Now, remember the president was on Al-JAZEERA, and from the point of view of Kenyans, he scored only 2 out of 10. But for him, he was saying he has made it 8% out of 10. Now, I want us to go through a very quick analysis of what the president said he has achieved and the reality. So he said that he had won in stocks, that stocks have really improved. And of course, that is real. From data out there, if you research, it is true. However, the stocks are not business for every other common Kenyan. He also said that he has done very well in terms of a maize, that is the maize stock. However, when you look at the statistics, he told us that now we have 70 million bags of maize done by this year. But that is not true because we are at 44.7%, which is not yet 70 million bags. Maybe that will be attained later because we have had challenges here and there across the country. He also talked about having hired 100,000 teachers up to now. And this is not true because up to now, we have only 76,000 teachers who have been hired, maybe unless he adds 24,000 more teachers. And again, even though that was projected, I'm trying so much to compare this in relation to the new system that was introduced. He talked about social health as being satisfactory and the fact that a lot of Kenyans have now been satisfied with whatever services. But that does not seem to be true because the active members, even though they're registered at 27.2 million, the reality is that those who are active are only 4.6 million. So enrollment is there, but When it comes to real active aspect, this is not true. The president also denied that abduction. He does not know anything about abduction, and he has really worked against it. But when you look at the documented aspects from Amnesty, human rights, and missing peoples, that statistics show that we have about 450% of missing people since 2022. We've also had a very high level of people who have disappeared, some reappeared, but testifying to have been actually dealt with poorly. So guys, every Kenyan must go down to details and check on what is happening. Now, when you look at what this guy is, Omogeni, is saying in Parliament currently, I've just played the clip. He is attesting that Shah has not fulfilled the dreams of Kenyans so far. And when you look at Sifuna also came out and shared the same information. We also had Senator Nyonka sharing very different views that I want to play some very small clip on the same. When it comes to what Sergei said, the statement Sergei gave is a testimony that threatening and actually making the Kenyan suffer or abduction, all that is still a reality in Kenya. So let's listen to Onyonga and then we can proceed on. But we have about 4 minutes to go.
Senator of Trans Nzoia County, I was unable to attend your wedding because I was out of the country, but I do have a present for you from Kisii County for you and your madam. I would like to congratulate you for joining the club of, even when we found the challenges and the mess that was at the referral hospital, where the kitchen doesn't even have equipment and machinery that is cooking the food, the ceilings are collapsing. Mr. Speaker, I was shocked that patients in Kiambu Hospital have never eaten meat. Patients are never given an egg, or do we have sugar? I mean, it was really a very, very painful scenario. Even though that was the case, Mr. Speaker, there was also very good information from Kiambu County Health Services. Why? Because they have done 24 level 3 and level 4 hospitals, which are all brand new. We visited those facilities, and Mr. Speaker, they were quite impressive. The governor has officers, some of them who have worked very well and very good for the county, but some of them have been a problem. Some of them have gone and opened hospitals, their own personal hospitals in Ruiru and in Thika. Some of the medicines are found there, and I want to mention to this House, Mr. Speaker, because we really don't have time to go into all this. Mr. Speaker, I have a very special request to make to my colleagues. We need to get out of this building.
Would have given his line of thought. But I think, Senator Mtata, what I would probably rule is that during your submission, when you're contributing to this motion, you can raise that matter and make your point.
We have a civil
Proceed.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, understanding order 101, and you know Article 123, there is creation of what we call standing orders and establishment. Article 123 of the Constitution. This standing orders is a creation of the Constitution.
Dispute the character of Senator of Nandi.
I've just made reference to statements that he made, statements that are in public domain. A statement of the Speaker that are being reacted to by his own church. The Speaker, it has nothing to do with me. The Speaker, can he just allow me to land? The Speaker, can I just land? Because
oh my God.
Less than 2 years to go. Less than 2 years. Because campaign will start in 2026. All the projects that he's been talking about are starting to zinaanza kuisha pole pole.
Who's Ruto? Who's not even president? Who's Ruto to Jalas?
Wow.
Who's this guy?
Ruto number one. I've known him from the days when he was deputy president. My first heavy interaction with him was back in 2016 when I used to do Mashujaa Festival.
Yes.
Okay? Mashujaa Festival 2016.
You remember?
Urafiki kakuja nini, became Dupit every single affordable housing ilianza lini.
Yeah, but the claim has been that he's launching the former president Uhuru Kenyatta's projects.
That is the most stupid argument in politics and in leadership. Let's say today, there's something called government exists in perpetuity. This is a government project. Imesimama. So, mimi nikuje nianze mpya, niwache ile yenye imesimama. Kwa sababu si yangu.
It must get into completion.
It must get into completion and the back every day. If my phone was there, I'd show you. I mean, groups and groups and groups za medical support. Tafadhali kwa sababu wote NHIF used to pay.
All right, guys, so we've come to an end of our discussion and we have talked about so many things. I don't know. We may not exhaust today. Maybe tomorrow is another day. I appreciate your presence here. And maybe I acknowledge you for taking part in our talks and listening to whatever we are doing. Thank you so much for paying attention. I appreciate. Bye-bye for now.